Hey, welcome to Grandpa Sees the Blinking. Please don't take anything Grandpa says as financial advice. Grandpa's not a financial planner, and if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so we have the historical data chart up, and how I have this thing set up is I have the difference between the low to the high and the difference from the high to the low each day. So from low to high would be the 288 to 297, which gives you 9. And the difference from the high to the low would be 309 to 281, which gives you negative 28. And what I want to point out to you here, I have this historical data chart goes way back 3 years, okay? Most of Tesla. And here we have, in the high to low, we have 5 red. In order to be red, it has to be negative 20 or more to be red. And this one's negative 19. It's close to negative 20. Now, going all the way back 3 years, there's only, I believe, one other time that I could find where there might have been one or two times in over 3 years that we had 6 in a row. Most of the time, you get 4 of these red ones in a row, and then you get a bounce up, 40, 50, $100. And when there's 5, which there's several 5s, you get a bounce up. Sometimes $30, usually around 50 to 100, and sometimes more. And on the 6 ones, you're looking at a $50 to $200 bounce before it quits. So, and I'm going to tell you and show you where I believe we're going to go, most likely tomorrow, if not Monday. And I'm leaning towards tomorrow that we're going to see the snap up, and where to. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is what's called a white line. And this white line is at 286.69. Now that is where the fair opening price for Tesla is for tomorrow. And I have these white lines going back all the way to the beginning of Tesla. And during that period of time, other than just a few in the very recent past here, every single one has hit except one. All of them. I mean, it's so close to 100%. You're talking thousands and thousands of white lines, and they've all hit except one out of all of them. So odds are they're all going to hit. And they do. Sometimes it takes a few days. Sometimes it takes some months. But they always hit again without fail, except for one. So it's important because right now 286.69 is above the current price of 281.95. See, that's where we closed. The current price is already up to 283. So she's inching up as we speak. And but I'm going to stay on this one because we have several other white lines that have not hit above here, and they will hit 309.65. Okay, we went to 309 right on the dot yesterday, but we did not fill this white line. We need to go up and past it. Just like this one right here, actually, We have a white line here that did not hit. It's at 332, say 332.50 for something to talk about. That's close enough. We went through it in the pre-market, but we did not hit it on the 4 hour. I'm on the 4-hour chart. We did not hit it on the state, and we will. And this is actually where I believe we're going to go up and hit that white line tomorrow or Monday. That's $50. That's $50 up from where we're at. Now, when we get there, we're going to go to the moon because the only one that we have that hasn't hit above this one to the top side is up at 457. I'd have to make it fairly small to show you. 457. Well, unless I go back in time. I might have to go back in time a ways to find 457. Oh, man. Here it is right here. 457. It's right on this yellow line here. This one is not hit. Do I think we're going to go straight up there after we get to the 332? Well, it's possible with Tesla. But I just don't think we're going to go up there quite yet. I'm leaning towards the retracement back from the 332 into the 270 area. I could be wrong about that, but I just don't believe that 281 is our new bottom pivot point. They're going to start screaming it is when we hit 230. And it very well might be our new bottom pivot point, 281. But I just don't believe them. Now, let's look at the weekly. This candle here will be done tomorrow, okay? We got the wick through our white line here at the 302 area. 302.70 was this white line represents our last bottom pivot point, low bottom pivot point of 302.70. And here's currently our top pivot point. And we are searching for a new bottom pivot point. We thought we had one for a while in the 220 something area, but she smashed right through it, big time. So yeah, we're down $208 from the high up here, $208 drop, and this stock can go down up more than $208. Now, here we have this trend line here is strong support. Now, when we go up to 230, okay, this white line here is real close to where we're going to go, okay, that I believe we're going to bounce back up to. But I think we're going to, it is possible that we go up to 257 and touch this red line and come back down again. Now that I'm looking at this, when we hit that 232, we might retrace some and come right back up. I mean, you got to realize how massive these candles are. This candle on the bottom is 280, and on the top side it's 359. And so yeah, that 350. Oh no, that other one is 457. We'd have to be up here. We'd have to be up at this yellow line. So when we break through this red line, then I say we are absolutely off to the races. We're going for 457. But until then, it looks to me like we'd top out right around the 355, 357 area would really be tops. Leaning towards the 330, 335 area. Retracement back down to the 270 area, 271, 270 area, and back and forth. And this thing is descending pretty quickly. So once we snap through it and do a close above this red line right here, this trend line, we're off to the races big time. But I do believe, looking at historical data, that we're going to get a $50 move. But we're looking at candles that are $80 a piece. So it can move within the candle $50 back and forth. So that's just the way it works. So anyway, the dominant trend is still down. We're under a sell signal, there's no doubt. But she has to snap at some point. And I'm not talking a break of the dominant trend going up $50 to the mid 330, 330, 335 area is what I'm anticipating. I'm not talking about it changing the dominant trend yet. I believe we're going to come back down and bounce off this 265, 275 area, okay, wherever it decides to hit this white line as it moves along, or green line here coming up. And that's a strong green line. Now, not to scare you to death, but we do have a white line that's never hit from about 3 years ago, approximately 2-3 years ago. And I believe it was right around $94, back when Tesla went to 101.81. And so that is the only white line that never filled, that we never put a wick through or anything in the 4-hour chart. Could something happen in this world that could do that? Well, I think it'd have to be pretty serious. But yeah, something could happen. So if we ever break through this green line here, hang on for $94. If we break through this green line, Grandpa's going to go short all the way to $94. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm leaning towards we're going to break through this top line. I think that $94 one might be an anomaly unless we have a world war. And if we have a world war, well, then what happens? Well, in that case, you need to think about, this is the hourly chart. Let's see, where are we? We're after hours. We're hanging right around 283.10 for price. Yeah, if that happens, we have a war with China, something like that. You need to be. Well, first off, I'll sing the "Don't Blame Grandpa" song one last time. Don't blame Grandpa if you sell your Tesla shares. Don't blame Grandpa if you sell your Tesla shares. You know, the day's coming when Tesla shares are going to be $50,000. And don't blame Grandpa if you sell them for $50,000 each. And a year later, they're $100,000. Don't blame Grandpa. And if we have a war with China and Russia and everybody else, don't blame Grandpa then either. Think about eternity. Think about eternity once in a while. Look at these green candles coming. I'm telling you what, buy the dip. Grandpa's buying. Grandma's all in. We're all in. We're going to 3:30. Grandma's going to make a killing. Oh, that grandma, she always does so good. How does grandma do it? Well, I think she thinks about eternity once in a while. She thinks about eternity. Grandpa does. See you later. Bye-bye.